I pity the fish I hooked today.
We're gonna set you up right here. Hang on 1 sec. We just a nice wide shot. Get ready. He's gonna come. Hang on. Just 1 sec. Just right there. Secretary Leeson. Mr. Assistant Secretary Leeson. Like I said, you'll make a great interview.
I said I'd think about it.
Mr. Secretary, television is the best damn thing since sliced bread for the American people. And especially for you people in the executive branch, you need to get used to talking to a camera.
Right.
What a story! And negotiating for oil rights in the backwoods with Nero Wolfe here to help things along by cooking? And you couldn't ask for a better lead. Nero Wolfe serves country by serving trout. Wow.
I would remind you that this is not about Nero Wolfe.
Yeah, but he's the hook, sir, so to speak. Man, how would you like to say
David!
So you were saying?
Okay, look, kid, you gotta understand. There's a lot at stake here.
Uh-huh.
And, well, feelings are running pretty high. And, well, not everyone here is skilled in the language of diplomacy.
Would you like to put that in plain English for me, sir?
Can I trust you?
I'll tell the truth.
Mm-hmm. What if someone says that something's off the record?
Oh, don't you worry, sir. I know the rules. My first boss was on the White House during FDR's watch, and he always said the country, the people, the nation do not need to know that their leader couldn't walk. So, yeah, you got to think what's good for the country.
All right, then.
Can you get this on record?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any progress on getting the interview with the man himself?
The ambassador?
No, Nero Wolfe. Nero Wolfe, yeah, that'd be a real feather in my hat. Nero Wolfe, man, I'll tell you, I'd have a byline on the front page of every newspaper in the country.
Okay, kid, listen here. This is for the record.
Okay.
It's an experiment, really. It's an experiment on how being in nature, away from the secretaries, the pens and paper, long tables of formal diplomacy, how perhaps being in nature may actually be able to change people's minds, how disagreements that have to be worked out will come together, surrounded by nature.
When I invited Kelfie to come fish at my lodge, it never occurred to me I was going to instigate some kind of an international incident. Then the State Department got into it, and Conglomerate lodged a complaint. My, a complaint. Ha!
He has no idea who's really running the show.
And so the upshot is, here we are. Perfectly good week's fishing spoiled.
You know, President Eisenhower is actually considering using Camp David as such a place to break up diplomatic log jams.
These people know that we have a very rich cache of oil in our country, and what they would like to do is help us take that oil out and bring it to the United States. What I would like to do is convince them that they can teach us and help us how to keep the oil in our own country. Now, you know that oil is big money. You mine it cheaply, you sell it high. The only way to do that is to take it to other countries.
You know, everyone's after that oil, not just America. Go south. South, that's where you want to find the oil. Or up north, Alaska. They got oil up there, you know. I love it. I love oil. Runs the nation. Runs your car. Runs the world.
I've been around, but I've never had an experience like this. And I'm no innocent either. It's always brutal. When you're talking about fuel, a resource, oil, black gold. Hell, down on the fields in Texas, you have to buy off every preacher and politician just to make sure your claim remains your claim.
In this country, perhaps, how do you say, people meddle more the government meddles more in the affairs of businessmen, whereas where we are, it is left up to the businessmen to really set things straight.
ambassador from Valsenjuego had heard about Wolfe's cooking and wanted to taste his famous brook trout. The State Department wanted Valsenjuego's oil and asked Wolfe for the favor.
Mr. Goodwin, I presume?
20 years ago, Nero Wolfe got the papers that made him a U.S. citizen. He'd always been grateful, so he agreed to cook for the ambassador and various American oil interests vying for the large oil contract.
Yes. I have lumbago, and I will be dining in my room.
Now, that's a hell of a way to serve your country. No, you don't have lumbago. What it is that we've driven 328 miles. Your back is sore from 35th Street to the Adirondacks. What do you expect? It's not lumbago.
Found it, it's lumbago.
No, it's acute grumpiness. That's
Lumbago.
what it is. No, it's inflamed soreness.
Sorry.
I fish. Yeah, of course, I fish. An ambassador must do many things.
Well, I don't want to get biblical. In times like these, no one wants to get biblical.
I must know tennis and bridge. I must master dancing and small talk, the right cigar, the curious anecdote. But I admit I love to fish.
Of course, he's well known for his love of fishing and, well, anything involving competition.
Look at him.
I've always regarded fishing as somewhat of a battle of wits between you and the fish.
But the fish, of course, represent what is of the land, what is comes from the bounty of nature. The business at hand, of course, oil, is also nature. And nature provides for much wealth, much wealth.
Black gold.
Terrible.
Frankie,
I am not. Lumbago.
not lumbago.
Lumbago.
Acute grumpiness.
Fritz forgot the officer. He assured me that everything was going to be there, and of course it isn't.
Everything's
I have
going
to
to be
phone
fine.
him immediately. Tell him.
Mr. Wolfe, how are you? This is Mrs. David Leeson. I am
Yes.
Spiros Pops.
Yes.
We'll speak later on.
Yes, well, just ignore him.
Soreness.
Sorry. Who is this Valsenjuego idiot?
No, it's not a Valsenjuego idiot. It's the ambassador of Valsenjuego.
Ah, which one is he?
Well, I don't know.
Here we are. Hello.
Ah, thank God, here they are. Come on in, Mr. Wolfe. Welcome to my humble abode. Very pleased to meet you, sir.
Yes.
I'd like you to meet the ambassador from Valsenjuego, Mr. Kelfie, and his wife.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm a great
My
admirer of
American
yours.
friend here. Dinner will be at 6:30.
Yes, where is my room?
Your room's right along
I
here.
assume there's a
Come along,
bed
you
large
follow
enough.
this way.
Mr. Wolfe, can we have a little drink together and do
Yes,
that?
move it, move it.
It's that way, apparently.
Move it. Come on, guys, move it. Come on, move it, move it. Come on, get on. What? You know where they're going? Right back on the boat. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have drinks on the veranda.
Well, you know, I don't know who some of these people are since I'm not in that business, of course. I'm in the business of cooking for them. I've seen people, I've heard them addressed as Senator so-and-so and Mr. Ambassador. There's a lot of bowing and scraping, of course. There's some very powerful people who come around here, very powerful indeed.
Now, why didn't you inform Mr. Bregan I would not be at dinner tonight?
Why? Because you don't have lumbago. If you do, it's in your psyche.
I have lumbago. And stop gibbering. Lumbago is from the Latin. Lumbus, meaning loin. Now, the psyche is not in the loin, you know that.
With you, I concede it isn't, yes. As a matter of fact, you remember the guy who wanted to introduce you to his 4 ex-wives down there in...
Shut up.
Listen, it is 6:30. All the guests are down there waiting for you to come and have dinner. No one can start unless you get down there so we can have dinner. Well, you're all dressed up. Let's go.
I have lumbago. I have it. And now I must eat at a strange table with a jumble of strangers in a nightmare dime store frontier theme park filled with bacteria-infested animals. So why don't you giddy up on down to the mess hall and tell them that I will not be chowing down with you this evening?
Wolfe's real problem was aggravated laziness.
You see, you have to find out where the fish live. You have to get the lay of the land, so to speak. As you stand in the river, you observe where the fish is most likely to be living. And once you've ascertained that, you study the environment and you ascertain...
Very dear friend. Yes, I met Mr. Leeson in Washington. And he came to visit in my country, but I got to know him in Washington very well. We spent some time together, and In fact, he is the one who bought me my very first fly fishing rod.
Does anybody know the name of the animal? There's an animal that can live in fire.
I think that's a punchline joke.
Where are they from?
No, I don't.
Portugal?
When does it stop?
Perhaps a little later on, after another cocktail. I don't, that's not a very... My wife is right.
Trying to figure out if anybody knows the answer to this. The name of the animal that can live in fire.
Salamander.
What is that on top of your head?
It's ready to pay.
It's quite a bad one.
Yeah, I'm frying at this table. That's what I'm doing at this table. And you know what? This may be my last words. My name's Archie Goodwin, and I gotta...
Goodwin.
Huh?
Goodwin? David,
Yeah.
we are getting a townhouse on J Street.
Is that so?
It is right around the corner.
It's a marvelous address.
Isn't that wonderful? I think my wife is very good with decorate our place. I think she has colors that she wears. I know she would be very good to decorate.
We must get together for dinner soon. Soon. It would be our pleasure.
Perhaps on the wall somewhere.
Now, in the last 4 days, I have been unfortunate enough to catch 38. Yesterday, I caught 7.
Why is that unfortunate?
Well, because the ambassador yesterday caught only 2. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a migraine, not go
You
fishing.
know what? Please, excuse me. Please remind me to call Sally when we get back.
Oh, ambassador's already up here.
Mr. Bragan, I noticed that you have the flag from the state of Texas.
Lone Star State, sir.
Well, yes, indeed.
Firearms to me are very special. You know, I think that
Very.
we must speak, and we will bring David in on this conversation. We need to protect our investment.
Well, Mr. Bragan is a terribly powerful man. You know, he has 4 houses. He has a house in Connecticut. He's got one in Florida. And then he's got one in Texas, you know. He's got pied-à-terre in San Francisco. I've never been to that one. It's a very small kitchen. But, you know, I'm in charge of all the other kitchens that he has.
I'm responsible for bringing the 12 ingredients to make trout bleu. And Mr. Wolfe, he's not one of the ingredients, but
That's thank goodness. It would make a very greasy dish. Excuse me, can I have some more wine, please?
Oh, no. That is solid muscle right there. Yeah, you should see him lift a pen to endorse a check. Absolutely effortlessly.
Very funny.
Yeah. What are you doing, if I may ask?
Oil shapes nations. Oil shapes nations. Oil drives nations in more ways than one. And it is my honor to be involved in the shaping of this monumental and wonderful business. My name is Spiros Paps. I am here as advisor to my good friend, His Excellency Theodore Kalefi, who is the ambassador of Valsenuego. I am an expert, I'm a financier.
Are you enjoying your wine, dear?
You see, in friendship, as in business.
Spiros.
What?
Please, excuse me.
What is he afraid of? Were you saying something you shouldn't have?
No, he's,
It's just the impression I got.
Have you been introduced to all the people at the table?
You know, I gotta tell you something. I'm glad you brought that up, because the introductions were pretty skimpy.
Thank you. I eat my toothpick. At the head of the table, Ovi Bragan, chemical gas. Across from you, David M. Newsom,
Yeah, he's the one
Assistant Secretary of State, yes.
Yeah, he called Wolfe, yes.
He organized the whole meeting.
Right.
He also spent many years as a secretary to the embassy of the United States in our country. He's very close to the ambassador.
Yes. David got called back suddenly, yeah. So, he just, I don't know. Somebody just called him back very quickly. Something to do with the, Department of State, I think, or something like that. So.
Sitting next to me, Mrs. Sally Newsom. She is an asset to any career diplomat.
She doesn't look like she's having a good time, I'll tell you that.
She's a woman of many moods.
How would you know?
We are friends.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I think she'll be brilliant if she becomes First Lady. She has style and passion, and she, I think, represents what women should be.
Yeah. And what about that one over there?
That is Adria Kalefi, wife of the ambassador, a woman full of life.
Allow the woman in you to live, to come to full life. Feel yourself. Live it. Be it. Une femme formidable.
Yeah, full of feathers.
Sitting across from you there, James Arthur Ferris.
Well, no, he's got to be somebody's lackey because he's sitting next to the fire, too. He's burning up in the frying pan.
No, as a matter of fact, he's a billionaire.
This guy over here is a billionaire?
Yes,
They stick him next to the fire like me.
he is head of 5 oil syndicates.
Well, let me ask you, are you saying that Bregan invited the competition for the deal to go fishing?
Friends.
It was my idea that Ferris be invited.
Why is that?
It was Bregan's idea to make him uncomfortable. I'm a man of malice, Mr. Goodwin. I am a man of guile.
You know what?
Your Excellency! Madam Kelfie, Mr. Wolfe, Secretary Leeson, Ferris, Goodwink, Mr. Paps, Mrs. Leeson. As the host, it's my honor to propose the first toast. So I would like to welcome our honored friends to these United States of ours, to America, the land of plenty. Fact is, they're used to dictators down there. They like that in me. Of course, that last, that's off the record. We are a marvelous machine. A machine that can feed the world. But a machine that needs fuel to feed herself. And so, we turn to the little countries, the backwaters, who have the resources but don't know what to do with them. And to them, we offer a hand. A hand, of course, that is filled with the benefits of civilization. Our technology, our medicine, our
Jets, your planes, your tanks.
and our indoor plumbing, Mr. Ambassador. Don't forget that.
It's very good. It's very good.
But this exchange has but one goal, that you take your place in the modern world, and that you never forget that Texas, the United States of America, that America is your friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, my toast for this evening is to a long and prosperous friendship. Mr. Ambassador.
Here, here.
As you see, my beautiful wife keeps me very, very occupied. I love wine. I love music. I love poetry.
Oh, I support my husband in everything he does. Like we said, we're a team.
Enjoyment is business. I mean, I have always enjoyed myself in business, and I see no reason why that enjoyment shouldn't spill over to everyone else.
Business pleasure, there's no line. It merges. I do really try to keep my opinions to myself and let the men do the business, but
I am working off the idea that charisma is the way to get what you need. You get more with sugar than you do with salt.
Good evening. I, too, would like to make a speech. But first, I would like to say how beautiful my wife looks this evening.
Here.
Don't you think so, David?
Absolutely, Mr. Ambassador.
Mr. Wolfe?
Oh, yes, of course. Comely. Beautiful.
First, I would like to thank Mr. O.V. Bregan for providing us with this haven, this oasis, far away from my backwater country.
My pleasure, sir.
And far away from the chit-chat of Washington. I feel honored and very grateful to be entertained in such a wonderful way. I would also like to thank my dearest, David Leeson, for providing this magnificent adventure, and without whom I would never have fallen so in love with fly fishing. Congratulations, David, also on your very, very, very fine work in Washington. And his wife, Sally, thank you for joining us. We have spent so many wonderful, wonderful moments together. And Mr. Wolfe, I am truly honored. I am grateful and thankful for your delicious contribution to this gathering. And you as well, Mr. Guswin. We have a history, a fire that
you in your country may have forgotten. We welcome your industrialization. And as I look around this room, I see that you are a man of taste, this great opulence. I cannot help but congratulate you on the great success that you in the USA have had in cultivating your country's natural resources. But we must not forget our fire, our gratefulness, our thanks. We are a people of beauty and passion and great love. And we pledge friendship, steadfast loyalty, and the pursuit of the American dream in our very humble homeland. To the United States of America.
Yes. Yeah. Well said, Mr. Ambassador.
Wonderful. I revel in it, seeing good men sharing bad blood. Look at them.
There's oil all over South America. America wants it.
Vacuum cleaner salesman in a suit. Huh.
They're actually pretending they're on a vacation. This combination of socializing and State Department protocol and the politics of a new country like Argentina. It's like trying to catch fire in a bottle. Just when you think you got it and it's in there, you put the cork in, disappears.
He thinks this is a market. He's here to make a sale.
He has no idea who's really running the show.
Yes, well, I mean, of course, Mr. Bregan, you know, would sooner sleep with a cobra than break bread with Mr. Ferris.
Listen, if I were you, I'd be worried about Paps. He's not the kind of man who stays bought.
Mr. Ferris could easily gut and fill it, Mr. Bregan, but I can't remember when I've enjoyed myself more, to tell you the truth.
Too damn much hot air.
You know, there is nothing as petty as a big man. Little men are rarely as petty as big men. Look at him.
I mean hot air.
Mr. Ambassador, yes, you should never pick up salt. Should have it passed to you. Set down and then pick it up. You don't want to just pick it up.
Excuse me?
How about you and I compete? It's the American way.
How about you get a stick and we'll play?
David, do you remember when we went skinny dipping in the Caribbean?
You were there, Sally.
It's a small community, and naturally, His Excellency is well connected with the business community. And we soon became fast friends. He's a very, very nice man and very supportive. I know, I distinctly remember that the secretary joined us the next day.
Perhaps it was him.
Yes, perhaps you're right. Yes, he was there.
Ladies and gentlemen, shall we repair to the bar?
Please.
We got cognac, liqueurs for the ladies. Ladies, would you go first? Alpheus, please. Go ahead, gentlemen, follow me. Mr. Wolfe, sir, what can we entertain you with tonight?
I think I might
must keep your mind on business. You're talking entirely too much in there. Now we have things to do here and we must do it quickly and efficiently. I will not have you embarrass me one more time. You understand me?
I don't understand what's come over you.
Stay away from Sally and do what we have come here to do.
Everything all right?
Well, finally! Well, about your behavior during dinner. You know how I feel about disturbances at a meal.
Yes, well, it was either that or I fry, so...
So I can see that this was an exception. This Bregan is either a dunce or a ruffian.
Yes. So, are you going fishing tomorrow, or...?
No, I'm not going fishing.
See any reason why I shouldn't?
No, none that I can think of other than common sense.
All right, well, good night.
No, Archie, come, did you see this? Look, it's some sort of tribute to the myth of the frontier.
Yeah.
Archie, you were right to oppose this expedition. These people are engaged in bitter combat. In his present humor, I doubt if the ambassador could distinguish between tweet bleu and carp fried in lard. Archie,
If we left tomorrow right after lunch, would we be home by bedtime?
But yeah, sure, absolutely. Good night.
Good night. Archie, what is this?
A piñata.
Archie, this other creature on my bed, could you remove this? I doubt I could sleep with it. Are you going to sleep?
Yes, I'll sleep. Normally I do. I'm gonna play a little pool first, though.
Archie, it is definitely lumbago.
How about you pay those thugs to put the screws on leasing, huh?
My God, you're so tiresomely predictable, Ferris.
As I came down the stairs, I noticed Paps had left a few details out of his introductions.
Last night, he saw the light.
Let me tell you, this is my family home, and you, sir, are my guest.
Oh, for God's sake, don't pull that great man act on me.
If I were you, I'd be worried about Paps. He's not the kind of man who stays bald.
Hey, you waiting for your cue?
What a fool.
Oh, Paris?
I honestly thought the Americans had pulled together and said they could sink the negotiations. There's other people who want that oil, you know.
Yeah, well, listen, tomorrow's another day, and you'll be tasting Wolfe's cooking.
All right, everybody, gather round. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Come on, kids, come on, put that cue down. Come on over here. Come on, everybody. You ladies, come on in. Now then, Your Excellency, in honor of your presence in my humble little home, I want to provide you with something that's going to make you feel at home, too. This is for the ladies, too, and you, Goodwin. It's for the ladies, too, of course. Are they all here? They're all here. Right. Now then, this is going to take the men's minds off of fish. Everybody ready? Is everybody happy?
Yes.
Is everybody ready?
Get that out of your hand. Just drop it. Take that. Ridiculous. I know who you are. I know who you are. No. No. Stop it. Stop it. Archie. You too. Stop it, Archie! Stop it! I'll fly through the air! pistol in your hand!
There were a lot of twists and turns in the 3 miles of river that Bregan owned.
All through breakfast, I was wondering if Ferris was gonna corner Kelfie on the river and have a cozy little chat with him somewhere away from the rest of us. It'd be just like him.
Bregan and Kelfie had the 2 sections north of the lodge, and Leeson and Ferris were working the 2 south bends. If Paps developed the headache he was planning on, I planned to take his stretch in the middle.
You see, no serious fisherman goes out and buys pre-tied flies. That's ridiculous. A serious fisherman ties his own flies, as I do, as my father taught me.
I think he is a very good fisherman. However, he has no idea how to tie the fly.
At the end of the day, we all know how many the others have caught.
And this fellow told me that in his country there is an ancient proverb, which goes something like this, if I may paraphrase, that every minute that a man spends fishing in his lifetime is an hour earned in heaven.
Not with my father, not with David. I mean, it's boring. Boring. I mean, you throw a line in, and whether it's the ocean or a lake or a river, if the fish are hungry enough, they bite, right?
Every fish must be completely fresh. And brook trout, as you know, is inedible unless it is cooked on the day it is caught. Now, how much will each fish weigh?
3/4 to less than a pound.
Yes, and when we add the vinegar to the water, that's what turns them blue, but only at the precise temperature.
And by the way, when he says precise, he means precise. Precise is precise.
I understand.
Yes, and no one is to touch the wine, the anchovies, nor the tarragon, except me. Do you understand?
Yes, I do understand.
No, we ought to make him sign an oath in blood like that other guy. How many fingers do you have?
No, that won't be necessary to sign anything in blood. The prospect of my displeasure will keep him completely obedient.
I wish you'd calm down, sir. You're making everybody nervous in
Now,
this place.
Archie, are you going to go cavorting around in the cold
Man's
water?
gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Yes, well, then do it.
Well.
Adequate.
I'm delighted to hear that. I'm delighted to hear that.
You shouldn't be. Adequate is insufficient. Do it again. The whole thing. The whole thing. Oh, from the very beginning.
Wait a minute, we've already done it twice.
Redo it.
We've done it twice. I refuse to do it a third time. I don't want to do it 3 times.
Archie, I don't want you to be late. You understand? I want to leave on time.
Well,
Do it again.
we've already done it twice.
Do it again, I said. Right now.
Well, of course, it's very friendly. I mean, just a game, just fun. But is anything really just a game? I mean, no man I know competes just for fun.
There is such a pleasure in landing him. And of course, you know when they have swallowed. There is a desperate plunging, a wildness to the fight. Philosophically, I suppose you could say that the wilder the fight, the more desperate, the more futile. For the ones who have swallowed the fly, they are the ones who are truly trapped.
They're waging fishing out there, and the talk afterwards, how many and how big and, well...
Good day, everyone.
Oh,
Ah, yes.
in a minute, thank you.
Feeling better today?
No, the pain, the pain.
Paps kept his promise of a migraine
Hello?
so his boss could catch a few more fish.
Wish me luck.
Well, I do appreciate nature, don't get me wrong, but I do prefer the opera and the ballet to squirrels and pine trees. I mean, I had that as a little girl in Berlin. I didn't mean that. It's pretty here, very pretty. C'est très, très joli. Vous comprenez? C'est très joli. But it doesn't have much music for me.
I believe strongly that when one is a friend, one becomes a friend not only of the man, but also of the woman. The woman with the man is the whole. And you cannot be friends with the man without being friends with the woman. You know yourself, if you become friends with a man, for example, and the woman doesn't like you, where does it go? Nowhere. Would you like a cigarette?
Do you see the sheen?
Yes.
Wolfe kept his mind off lumbago by prepping for the trout.
Where all of the essences form to make this genius dish. Here, taste.
Salt. It needs salt.
What did you say?
And a bit of onion. Where's the onion?
Onion? What? You would destroy the delicate taste of trout with onion?
Oh, it was just a passing thought.
A passing thought?
Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke, Mr.
A
Wolfe.
joke?
It's ambrosia. It's absolutely perfect. It's a joke.
You call yourself a chef? You make a joke in the middle of proofing a sauce? You know what you are? You're a witling.
Oh, it's just a
You
pass.
idiot.
Oh, I don't know what came over me. It's a joke.
Yes,
for
very
heaven's
funny.
sake.
Get out of my sight.
Oh, for heaven's
Go,
sake.
leave,
Oh,
get out.
Oh, the master. I'm just.
And you're an idiot.
I'm a cook. Oh, you can't take a joke. It's just absolutely incredible. 15 years ago, I was a sous chef, as we say. Very well trained. I know a great deal about everything.
Perhaps if you spent more time on your culinary talent and less time on your theme costume, you might come up with something adequate.
That is outrageous. What are you doing in this kitchen of mine?
He's a very powerful man. He's very difficult to work for. You know, he's put us all in these. My cousin saw me in this and really didn't quite know what to think, but we wear them.
We are supposed to be like this.
I was invited here, sir.
What?
Nero Wolfe would like you to think that his time in the kitchen was the most miserable experience of his life. Sure, he was irritable and wanted to go home, but the chef of the house had the misfortune of being the target of Wolfe's wrath. Complete chaos was the dish being prepared that day, with an extremely nervous and traumatized staff, made up of Chinese immigrants mostly, to provide Wolfe a few more targets of opportunity.
Get bacteria! It's filled with bacteria! He brings the bacteria!
How dare you say the thing I
That's it, ding! 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 Ding!
You're not terrifying my people here. That is outrageous. The poor man has already been slugged on the
I
head.
asked you to Julienne, Liz.
That is Julienne.
It is not Julienne.
It is Julienne according to the French.
I don't care what the French think.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I will tell you something. I have been in service for 15 years.
Yes, what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I have
Well, in the army?
I have been a chef, not a sous chef, not an attendant chef, not a charwoman, I might add.
Bragan told me, not very cordially, to help myself to supplies. Well, I ended up with a Walton Special 3-piece rod, a pokeweed reel, a fly box with 24 assorted flies. I estimated that I was about $400 on the hoof. It was 10:30 when I hit the water. I wanted to work the section set aside for Paps until the rest came back. Then I'd have the river all to myself.
Then we go meet friends at a club. Of course, I love to dance, so we go out and we come home with the sunlight out and the street lights still on. See, that is a life.
Some time ago, I met an old gentleman fishing.
The music, you have to have the music in your head at all times. Will you catch one for lunch? A fish?
If it's big enough to keep, I will.
What is the biggest fish you ever caught?
The biggest fish I ever caught, that'd have to be Frankie the Shark D'Angelo.
Was he difficult to catch?
Yes, he put up quite a struggle.
Now let me try. I want to.
No. It'd be fun to watch you catch a fish, but see, Bragan lent this to me, and I can't give it to you.
I used to smoke.
I do occasionally. Not. Oh, pink.
Yes.
Pink, my favorite color.
How could I forget pink?
You're a man just like all the others. You know, you think there's things that only a man can do. I just want to catch a fish. Why is that wrong?
Oh, you see, it's not that it's wrong. It's just that this is not my gear, all right? Bragan, he lent it to me, so there's certain rules about that. Now, listen, I'm sorry, and I'll show you how sorry I am. I will tell you my first thought when I saw you last evening. If you'd care to hear it, would you?
I'm not sure.
Oh, look at her. She's at it again. Unbelievable.
You know, she will never change. Come, you still play backgammon.
And that big ring on your husband's left hand, is it an emerald?
Of course.
All right, so this is what I was thinking. I was thinking that your husband, he ought to display his assets a little bit more effectively.
Oh, yeah? How?
Well, by combining his assets, you and the emerald, see? See, what I would do is I would take the emerald and I would turn it into an earring and I would put it in your right ear. Your left ear? What would I do with your left ear? I'm not sure. But anyway, that's what I would do with your right ear.
I wouldn't like it. I like pearls. Now give me that rod.
Good morning, Mrs. Calliphy. Hard at work, Mr. Goodwin?
Indeed.
I just want to catch a fish and this man won't give me his rod. Let me use your rod.
Do you know how to use it? It takes a certain expertise. It's all in the wrist when you cast.
Now, how can I help you today, Mr. Ferris?
I'm not sure.
Last night you were sure?
Yes, I was, but in the light of day, it seems like a foolish way to win the consent of the ambassador.
He doesn't mind.
You underestimate him, darling.
You Americans, you are so, what is the first people who settled here? The pure people? The prudish people?
Puritans.
Puritans, that's it. Terrible name. You know, makes me feel like when your grandmother dresses you for a party in your older sister dress, and you have to sit there in a chair and not get wrinkled, not get dirty with your ankles crossed. All you want to do is just go play in the mud.
The Puritans became the Yankees, and they made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah? And then what? You make all that money and you go buy champagne? No. You make all that money and you go back to work and you make more money. I'm just so bored. So bored.
I have served for a judge and a senator for Mr. O.V. Reagan, that horror who clipped my man. Look what you've done to him. And you know something? I will not stand there for any more.
Calm down, sir. Calm down, sir.
Want me to calm down?
You accepted a salary for this?
Yes, I did.
Then you're a fraud!
I went to London and Bermuda. Not particularly well known for food, but I learned these things.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You are beginning to humiliate me.
Do it again.
I have never heard anything like this in my life.
Let's go.
You are humiliating me.
You do it.
I haven't done this.
You do it.
Hey,
Sit down.
Come and help me here.
Sit.
I have not done anything like this for years. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I am a chef. I am not a carver of carrots. I promise you. You must help me with this. I don't know how to do it. I haven't done
Focus. Focus.
I haven't done this since Roanoke. I've been such a long time. Look what you're making me do.
And the first time I met him, I rather impressed him. I think it was because I'm tall. I'm 6'4". He rather likes to have a large chef. Most of the people that work with us are very small. And I think he shows us off, Look, he says, here's my chef, he's 6'4".
You're going to make Look, come here, stand. I don't understand any of this.
Out of the way, out of the way, out of the way.
I don't want...
All of you, out of the way. Go.
Look at him.
That is Julian, sir.
Yeah, I understand. I see.
Julian.
All right, I understand what you want. Yes, I understand what you want.
That's what you're doing.
I'm not sure that's the only reason, but he's not as picky with his food as some might be. I mean, he tested me out. We had some breakfast, scrambled eggs and toast and things like that. I'm very good on those sort of things. And very good on English dishes,
What a horrible man. What a horrible household we're in. How look at your head. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen to us all. I'll have some of this. Give me that glass. Oh, what a horror. Oh, what a horror. Is he going to come back, that terrible man? Is he going to come back? What are we going to do? We'll have to get out of here. We should all go somewhere. We should get in a small boat and go somewhere.
Up, down, up, down. 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
He might come back. He might come back with a gun. I don't know. It's all right. I'll handle everything. I'm in charge. I'm all right.
It never crossed my mind to do business while we were here. Business? Here?
Because the South American countries, we all speak to each other. We have very touchy relations in Cuba. What do you think that's about? I would believe that there's oil on that island.
And we gotta get it before the damn Ruskies get it. Ha ha! I'll tell you that. Ha! We gotta get it first. Venezuela. There's a place. They got oil down there.
Landing the fly in the exact spot and just pulling it away to entice the fish to feed.
Shepherd's pie. He likes shepherd's pie. He really likes shepherd's pie.
What's going on again? Have you done it?
We go.
Everything myself.
40% of what we import into this country comes from the Middle East. Think about that.
I would say get dressed in the morning, put on your finest suit, go out, have a coffee, and then do what you must.
No one owns up to it, but we all of us. At the end of the day, we all of us know how many the others have caught. Perhaps we could award the oil contract to the man who catches the most fish.
Mr. Goodwin, you're fishing too. Eighth trout.
Very nice.
I ran into Mr. Bragan, and he has had the audacity to catch 12. That's no way to win an oil contract. I must get back and show my wife.
She's out fishing.
You think she's caught something?
When I left her, she had a hook and a big one.
I must go and show my fish.
Yeah.
I'll see you at lunch.
It's a warning sign in nature, you know. Buzz? Coral snakes, black widow spiders. Bright red means poison. I read it in my Girl Scout book. David knows all about poison. He was an Eagle Scout.
Yes. No. These are all no's. No. No. Yes. Yes.
I'd only caught 3 fish when I started leasing Stretch. Then I got a hit that almost pulled me over. I couldn't believe it. This was the grandpa of all trout.
Let's go, gentlemen. Every second affects the texture of the flesh. Hoi! Hoi! Now, hoi!
Look at how beautiful these trouts are.
Bravo, Mr. Your Excellency, in your honor, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Nero Wolfe's Trout Blue.
Yes! Wonderful trout blue.
Yes. Mr. Wolfe, we wish to offer you the praise that you so lavish. Where is he?
He's gone to pack.
Good God.
Thank God.
Did you get the recipe?
No, I didn't get the recipe.
For God's sakes, man, you work with a genius, you get the recipe. Do you remember it?
I remember every single sublime, horrid second.
Wonderful. I want to serve it soon to Skull and Bones.
No.
No?
No, frankly, I'm never going to cook again.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm going to do something else. I'm going to garden, I think. I'm going to garden. You know something? I'm going to garden, but I'm not going to garden food. No peas, no carrots, no bloody asparagus. I'm going to grow grass. That'll be nice. Yes. And ivy. I think ivy would be nice because I can sit in a small chair and watch it grow. You know, watch it sort of grow up the wall. Yes, I think that's rather nice.
3. Make it 3. Go in 3. Goodwin, did you see Secretary Leeson?
No,
He
sir.
missed lunch.
Oh, I like him.
He's probably just wanted to fill up his grill.
You always exaggerate about how many fish you catch.
Here, put these on ice. Have you seen Mr. Wolfe?
I don't know where he is, and I don't care. Oh, Lord. Oh, no, the river's gone. Let's find our little boat and go away. We've got to go somewhere. Where are we going to go? The man is so huge. He fills this whole house. Perhaps we should hide in the refrigerator.
Listen,
Ah, howdy.
How was lunch?
Cooked up a whole mess of fish, 18 in fact, and everybody ate them. Did you catch any?
Yes, I did. Listen.
Good. Can we go now?
I gotta give you a little report here. See, I want you to know before the others. I just found Secretary Leeson downstream, clobbered.
Good heavens.
His skull is, are you listening? His skull is bashed in above the temple. His armpits are cold as can be.
Maybe we should go.
He's dead.
Perhaps we should leave.
We wouldn't get past Albany.
Why the devil did you have to go fishing?
I decided that more proper attire would be needed to break the news. Mr. Bragan, excuse me. I'm sorry. Please, if you would all just listen, I hate to be the bearer of some terrible news. Mrs. Leeson, I regret to inform you that Secretary Leeson was found down by the river. You will not find him there, please. Sit down. If you have to, I will take you there. But right now, I'm sorry, you have to just remain calm. Now, Mr. Bragan, I need you to call the police and a doctor now. I'm going to go back to the body and stay there until they come. Mrs. Leeson, you do not want to see this.
No, take me there now.
All right. Why don't you come, Paps?
Certainly, yes.
Spiros.
Screws this thing. Right through here.
You put a handkerchief under the dead man's head?
Yes, I did.
Very sensible. Look, I'll get a better look at him in the hospital.
David!
You, smart guy, inside. All right. There's a reporter outside with a camera. I want him removed from the property. I want all the people rounded up, and I want their statements taken. Move it.
Do you want to report?
Not unless it has any bearing on our leaving this place.
Yeah, listen, there's a state police captain named Colvin wants to talk to everybody. He's downstairs right now, getting statements.
Let me be perfectly clear on this. You got everyone's statement.
Yes.
You asked everyone to come to this room, including Nero Wolfe.
Yes.
Nero Wolfe isn't here. Why is that? Mr. Goodwin, do you know... Nero Wolfe, right? Private detective. Come in, sit down. We've been waiting.
Where?
I don't care.
Oh, good.
Hold it. I have something to say.
Hey!
All right, then. My name is Captain Jasper Colvin, and I find my duty painful today. But just as Assistant Secretary of State David Leeson always did his duty, so I, in my own humble capacity...
You want I should write these things that people say down, sir?
Yes, you idiot. Everything. Shoo. Now, I have...
Colvin! Is it true you switched this investigation to that of a homicide?
Yes, but before I go on...
Ridiculous.
I understand that the ambassador and Mrs. Calafee and Mr. Pabst have diplomatic immunity and therefore don't have to...
No, we would be very glad to cooperate. I mean, even diplomats can be human on occasion.
On behalf of the people of the state of New York, I thank you, sir. Now, according to your statements, you all have alibis. Those of you who are here at the lodge have witnesses. Those of you who are down at the river have fish.
I caught 12 trout. That takes time, even if they're biting.
Yes, and Mr. Ferris caught 10, and Ambassador Kellyfi caught 8.
I mentioned I'd been bothered by poachers. Have you investigated that angle?
Well,
Why not?
Because I guess we... Oh, Nate, just bring it here.
I wrapped it in newspaper.
Now, this was found 500 feet downstream from the bend, wedged between 2 rocks.
No, don't look. Don't look.
I'm sorry, but this was necessary. As you can see, it's been sawed off at both ends, and it wasn't in the water long enough to wash away the blood stains.
Of course! Poacher picked up a branch and...
There's pieces of wood like that in the wood pile. This was sawed off at both ends. It means it was premeditated.
I'd have to agree.
Find the poacher, man! What are you wasting our time for?
Well, sir, because we've come to a conclusion. We don't like it. We don't like it at all, but a duty is a duty, no matter how painful.
What conclusion?
The perpetrator of the murder is somebody in this lodge.
Now listen here, my little good Captain Colvin. Do you know who my guests are?
I certainly do. There was an article in the newspaper yesterday and a dispatch at headquarters from Washington. Might help to know what state the negotiations have reached.
You're out of your depth, Colvin.
You certainly are.
The article mentioned there was a rivalry between you and Mr. Ferris. They said it was intense and bitter.
I assume that's a guess you're making, Sergeant.
Americans do not fight with clubs. Not for millions.
Anybody could have sneaked through the woods and picked up a stick from that wood pile.
Yes, but the laws of probability force us to focus on the people here. Not just you, gentlemen. We have Archie Goodwin and Nero Wolfe. According to the same article, you came here to cook trout?
I was asked to serve my country.
Baloney. What's the real reason?
Oh, don't spoil it, Mr. Colvin.
Answer the question. Why are you here?
You know, you showed commendable spunk in dealing with 2 billionaires and an ambassador. I suppose I can't blame you for wanting to impress them and use a more pugnacious attitude with me.
Fine, if you won't answer that question, then tell me, what time...
You have hinted delicately at a connection between the death of Secretary Leeson and this contest of oil rights. The one notable incident I would add to my statement is that last night Mr. Bregan arranged the seating at the table so that Mr. Ferris and Mr. Goodwin were roasted before our eyes. Their only choice was cremation or discourtesy.
Are you through?
Did you listen?
Yes. Brilliant. Case solved. Now, at what time did you and Mr. Goodwin have breakfast?
Well, I had mine early. Mr. Goodwin had his at 9:30.
Aha!
Well, is this significant?
Plenty of time for Goodwin to slip down to the river, kill Mr. Leeson, and establish himself back on the veranda.
I grant that Mr. Goodwin sometimes acts impulsively, but that seems rather extreme.
Cut the sarcasm, Wolfe. It may go down big in New York, but upstate, we don't appreciate it much.
Well, explain yourself. I mean, had he suddenly gone mad?
All right, fine. Let's try this. We all know how you like money. Maybe somebody wanted to get rid of Leeson, and they paid you a fat fee to dispose of him.
Wild conjectures have their place in an investigation, sir, but it is better not to blab them until they're supported by at least a slender thread of fact.
You can't hide, Wolfe. Your being here stinks to high heaven. Now, what was the real reason? Don't give me any guff about trout.
Let us be explicit. Do you call me a liar?
I do.
Then there's no point in going on.
Oh, I'm not through with you. Your statement, it's absolutely complete.
Yes.
There was no incident that you didn't mention?
No.
Nothing notable?
No.
You don't find it notable that you came here to cook the ambassador's trout? That's what you say you came here for, right?
Yes.
And yet, according to the cook, when you did cook the fish, you didn't include the ambassadors. You don't find that notable?
Not especially, no.
Well, I do. I looked at those fish. There's nothing wrong with them that I can see. Ambassador Kellyfi, did you know that he didn't cook your fish?
No, I did not. This is rather a surprise.
Can you think of any reason why not?
I'm afraid not. But no doubt, Mr. Wolfe can supply one.
Well, what about it, Wolfe? Why?
Related to the murder, Mr. Colvin.
I don't have to.
Well, the trout are here. Scrutinize them, dissect them, send them to the laboratory. You can conduct a simple examination.
I don't believe your story, Wolfe.
I resent your tone, your diction,
Your manners and your methods. Only a whitling would call a man of my conceit a liar. Come, Archie.
Captain Colvin.
Very nice, Mr.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I will. Thank you, sir. That was District Attorney Howard Jessel. He's arriving here at 5 o'clock. He doesn't want me to ask any more questions until he gets here. So, looks like you won't be getting back to Manhattan today, Wolfe.
I'm going to bed, gentlemen.
Archie!
That Pabst character will never let the ambassador go with some loose association of people. Handshake doesn't exist for them. No, no, no. It'll be mine in the end, I'm sure of it. Well, a Moco's. But that's the whole point, isn't it? Mine. I can say yes or no and mean it. I don't have to consult with a board or a conglomerate. It's me.
My father was a businessman from Greece, and he met her. He saw her on the street. She's Irish, and he took her. He fell in love with her, and they moved to Crete.
To Crete?
Yes, and I was born there. And then I traveled. I started in business very early, about the age of 9 or 10.
What time is it?
It's 20 minutes past 3.
Where would we be now had we left at 2 o'clock?
How about 4 miles south of Hoosick Falls?
Bosh! You can't know that.
Oh, yes, I can. That's an educated guess. What I want to know is why you did not cook the ambassador's trout.
Well, there were 30 fish caught. I cooked 18 of them, that's all.
You know what I think? I think the man who sent you here to kill Leeson, see, he put secret messages in those trout, and Kellyfie caught one of them. No, I think that's what happened. You had to wait for the cook, so he wasn't looking.
That's the door.
There's nobody at the door.
There is a shadow.
Wolfe, I want to talk to you about something.
Mr. Bregan, don't stand on ceremony. Indeed, don't stand at all. It disconcerts me to look up at people.
Look, I like the way you handled Colvin.
I didn't. I want to go home. I should have toadied him. Vanity comes high.
Well, he's a fool. The idea that anyone murdered Leeson is absurd.
Not any more absurd than the idea of a poacher selecting a log and then... Would you please sit down?
All right, maybe it wasn't a poacher. Wolfe, I want you to find who killed Leeson. I want you to do it damn quickly. I can't emphasize how quickly. This must be cleared up. Leeson murdered in my lodge. State Department might decide to freeze me out. Name your price.
I think not.
If I have a word with the district attorney, he'll take your statement and let you go back to New York.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Doesn't appeal to me.
The hell with appeal. Why not?
I have a reason.
What is it?
I do not wish to disclose it. Mr. Bregan, you're an overbearing man, but I am a dogged one. While I owe you the courtesy of a guest, I owe you nothing more. I decline the job.
Come in! What do you want, Ferris?
Well, break. I'm glad you're here. I have something I want to say to you, and I want witnesses present.
For God's sakes, Ferris, there's been a murder. Tomorrow it'll be on the front page of 1,000 papers. Every television network will carry it.
Tomorrow I'm going to go to the district attorney and tell him the truth, huh?
Congratulations.
About how you had a man in Paris working on Kellyfie and a woman working on Mrs. Kellyfie, and how you put the screws to Leeson with some sort of blackmail.
You better watch what you say, Mr. Ferris. As you say, there are witnesses.
You thought your dirty scheme was all set, didn't you? You had Leeson eating out of the palms of your hands, didn't you? Oh, no. He started talking to me, and he began to see the light. I needed just one more day. One more day to close. That day's come. And Leeson's no longer here.
By God, you bought Pabst back, didn't you?
Hey, you got it.
Let go my arm.
What should I do? Give him a head start? Go find him, find the body?
place to see. Saber-toothed hyenas hungry for each other's flesh.
Yeah, right, I agree. Listen, I think you missed a bet there, see? Reagan talking the district attorney into letting us go. We'd be home in 7 hours.
Archie, I'm taking another bath.
Yeah, fine, but you know, the fastest way home is to find the killer and collect a fee from Bregan.
The investigation is in Captain Colvin's thumbs.
Sally, I think that if you... Look, you need a friend.
Go away.
Perhaps if
Can't you just leave me alone?
But you shouldn't be alone. You shouldn't be
You've
alone.
come to culture me, and you've come to comfort me,
If I can.
or to save your precious deal.
Oh, Sally, look, I know you're bitter.
Don't you dare. He trusted you. Vulture. You're all just vultures.
When I was a child, my mother, before breakfast, used to sit me on her knee. And she used to say, Spiros, petaxis cafeterios kalenikos. Now, do you know what this means?
I do, of course, but the American people would probably need help in understanding it.
Well, I haven't a clue what it means. And of course, neither did my mother. She was from Cleveland. But the important point is that it was just before breakfast. And I would know when she sat me on her knee and spoke this sort of gobbledygook that it was time for breakfast, for the little toast, the hard toast that we would have, and she would spread them with lard, and we would drink the sweet tea. And there you go, you see, it was all a communication.
Archie, why don't you go down to the bar and get some refreshment for us?
I will have a scotch on the rocks, and the lady will have a very dry Chardonnay. I had hoped, Mr. Wolfe, to offer my thanks for the meal under happier circumstances.
Yes, well, to be chosen as an instrument of hospitality on behalf of my country is a great honor. I regret the calamity that spoiled it.
I thought it might amuse you to know how I came to make the request. Cardinale Parlavicini, the secretary to His Holiness in Rome, made me an extraordinary sauce on grilled kidneys. He said Nero Wolfe had originated it. I had the same experience in Cairo with your friend Abdullah Mosalak, and then again in Madrid.
And then David came to the embassy, and we heard of your exploits as a private detective.
We became curious. Who is this man, Nero Wolfe? And when David asked me to express a personal desire, it was to catch brook trout and have it cooked by you.
Yes, well, of all the species, man is the only one who knows in advance what will kill him. His insatiable curiosity.
Well, we are, as you have guessed, still curious about you.
Merely curious. Huh?
Insatiably curious.
Ah.
Why did you not cook the fish my husband caught?
Caprice. I am a confirmed eccentric.
Still, even a caprice must spring from something.
No. A whim, a freakish thought of mind.
I see. I apologize for my persistence, but in any cause célèbre, unexplained facts give rise to wild rumors. While the fact that you did not cook my fish can't possibly be connected to the murder, the gossips will do their best to invent one. You see my dilemma?
I do.
What will be thought? What will not be thought?
Well, what if I were to say that it amused me to twist the tales of highly placed persons and that it provided me with a touch of mockery not to cook your fish? How would that be?
Excellent. You will say that?
Yes, I see no objection to it.
Again, my thanks.
At the present, however, some unforeseen contingency might provide one.
Provide what? An objection?
Yes, perhaps. I would like to oblige you, but I cannot make it a commitment.
I would not ask it of you. My gratitude. Yes. I hope that you will permit me to proffer a token of my gratitude. Aria, querida. I think it would be fitting for you to present this to Mr. Wolfe as a token, a symbol of our appreciation.
I do beg you to accept this.
Here we are.
As a symbol of our gratitude.
Oh, this is most unnecessary.
If it were necessary, it would not be so great a pleasure. Come, my dear.
You wear Monday to Fridays, I wear weekends. Now, I'm no art expert. It could be that the brown speck and the crack at the bottom makes it more valuable, but I'd give it back. Yes, I would. I would trade it in for a clear piece, you know, the one in the Woolworths window? So that's what I would do. I stared at him. He did this only when his brain was going full tilt, with all the wheels whirling and all the wires singing.
I must make a call. A phone call. Where's the phone? Yes, I wish to make a person-to-person call. Number here is Whitefish 78080. To Mr. Nathaniel Parker. My name is Nero Wolfe. He's in New York City. The number is Lincoln 32303. Mr. Parker.
Yes, who's this?
Yes, it's Nero Wolfe.
Mr. Wolfe. Yes?
Yes, I need some information from you.
What can I do?
Mais il faut parler français, seulement français. Oui. Oui. Il faut que je parle français. Oui. Oui. Merci beaucoup.
District Attorney Jessel, he'd like to speak with you.
Yes. First things first. Mr. Jessel, if I am to disclose the identity of the murderer, Mr. Leeson, I should like to have it done in the presence of everyone. And I wish you to gather them all in the great room. But before I disclose the murderer, I wish to speak to the Secretary of State.
Of New York?
Of the United States of America, you mid-level moron.
I see. Well, I have a must too, Mr. Wolfe.
Yes.
You must tell me what you're going to say.
Impossible. I have a score to settle, and you might interfere with my payment. The murderer has foolishly offended my self-esteem. You go.
I'm not gonna...
Jasper?
Nate?
Take the call.
Mr. Wolfe?
The hell did I do to deserve all of this? God damn it. Come on in, Mrs. Leeson. Let me get you a drink.
Wolfe talked to the Secretary of State for about 10 minutes, just enough time to get the party together.
Perhaps want a drink?
No, thank you very much. Now, are you all right?
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. Mr. Briggs.
But it's your place.
Drinking. Bourbon. Yes, here we are.
Thank you.
Go, Ferris. It's a double.
I have no idea why we need to have this drama. I mean, why can't
Mr. Wolfe.
just gentlemen?
Now, perhaps we'll have an answer.
I wish to apologize for my voice or lack thereof. Apparently, last night I was screaming in a nightmarish fit, Mr. Goodwin tells me. Possibly because of all the deceased specimens which adorn this house. But first, I wish to say that I have known who the murderer of Secretary Leeson was from the moment Mr. Goodwin reported his death to me.
Nonsense.
Wonderful, wonderful.
This is a trick!
What I did not know was the reason for the murder.
Oil rights, obviously. Everyone knows that.
This crime had less to do with high finance than fish.
That's it. This man is either drunk, drugged, or insane.
Let him talk.
When I arrived here, I was informed that all of you had gone fishing the day before, and so all had caught a considerable number of fish. All of you, except the ambassador.
That is correct. My luck was very bad. But, as you know, today, my luck was good.
Do you know, sir, why I did not cook your fish?
Caprice. As you have told me, you have a very peculiar sense of humor.
It was at your suggestion that I concocted that bogus explanation.
Very nice. One of yours, Mr. Bragan?
Yes, my first oil well. 19 years old.
Is this a game?
I did not serve them because the fish were not fresh.
Not fresh?
You caught them yesterday. You tied them together, and you left them somewhere in the creek. Then you came in pretending to have caught nothing.
Why would I do such a thing?
To establish an alibi, sir. You brought those fish in this morning pretending that you had spent hours catching them when, in fact, you were killing Leeson.
It's a fantasy.
Mr. Wolfe, why would I want to kill my own best friend?
I could not surmise that, sir. But then you came to my room to find out if I suspected you. When I tacitly admitted I did, you made the mistake of offering me a bribe, an emerald. This emerald. Mr. Jessel, this was the wound to my self-esteem.
Oh, I am so sorry, my dear. Your usual?
Sí, querido.
A gift from an admirer.
It was a bribe to silence me. Had it measured up to my conceits, had it been the Koh-i-Noor diamond, or even the Zabara diamond, it might have served its purpose. Now, who can say? But it is merely a large emerald with a noticeable flaw.
This is quite fantastic.
But then, sir, you insisted that your wife hand me the emerald. Now, I believe your words were, "I think, my dear, it would be fitting for you to present it to Mr. Wolfe." Why that choice of words, sir? Why was it fitting?
A diplomatic speech is flowery.
But rarely without purpose. It forced me to consider her. Did your wife drive you to murder? Since I have been here, she has exercised her not very subtle charms on every male guest in this house. Of all of them, only Mr. Leeson refused her. Did Mr. Leeson have an affair with your wife when he served in your country?
Oh, don't be absurd. Preposterous.
David Leeson, he was just a Boy Scout.
Sir, answer me. Sir, answer me!
Yes. It was all her fault. You had an affair with my husband in your own house. You had your claws in the suitcase.
Take it easy, girls.
You had your claws in him so deep. I got him called back home.
Sit down. Calm down.
You went after him again as soon as you saw him, didn't you? But he wouldn't have any of it. So you told your husband everything, didn't you? In one of your famous little fits, you had him killed David.
Madam, why in God's name did you not say this before?
Because I didn't want anyone in Washington to know what a fool David had been. Besides, what difference does it make now? I mean, the law cannot touch them.
Why not? He's a killer. There's one advantage to being in the woods, Mr. Wolfe. We can at least book him. Hold him until...
Hold your tongue, Mr. Colvin. Not another word. The Kelly's are immune to prosecution, but we are not. Now, I asked my lawyer to read me a statute on diplomatic immunity. Archie, if you will, read the last paragraph.
Sure, yes. Anyone who obtains a writ of process in violation of this statute and every other officer concerned in executing a writ or process shall be deemed a violator of the law of nations, a disturber of the public repose, and shall be imprisoned for not more than 3 years.
Yes, which is why I insisted on speaking directly to the Secretary of State. He confirmed it. I do not wish to spend 3 years in prison for exposing a murderer.
Congratulations, Mr. Wolfe. And my condolences, Mrs. Leeson. My dear, come. Spiros. Spiros.
Mr. Callifay, a personal point. Was it also a stab at my self-esteem that you arranged for me to be here for the added fillip of gulling me?
No, Mr. Wolfe. When I expressed my desire, I had not yet contemplated actions that might arouse your professional interests. Once I had, I thought it would be prudent not to retract the invitation. Thank you for lunch. It was
It was a sight I never expected to see and don't expect to see again. 3 state troopers, a district attorney, a police captain, a pair of private detectives, and none of us moved a muscle while a murderer strolled out of the room.
Go back to the city?
Immediately.
You know, I cannot believe it. These ingredients, that will not make a light souffle.
Why are you being argumentative? Just do as you wish.
Nice picture of Kellyfi. Not many details, but they shot him coming home from the airport. It doesn't say whether it was for the murder or ruining the oil negotiations. I doubt if he cared much. Thank you, Fritz.
Death is nothing to us. That which is dissolved into its elements experiences no sensations. You're using those eggs?
His eggs were laid fresh this morning.
And that which has no sensation is nothing to us.
So you agree with me?
I shall never forgive him.
For what?
I am fond of trout, and I shall never be able to savor it in just the same way again.
Yeah. You'll get over it.
Where are you going?
Me? I'm going to Central Park Zoo. Yeah. Taking the widow Leeson, showing her the penguins, make her smile. Yes, it's my mission in life to make her smile.
I need you here.
Oh, I'm sorry. My country calls. Duty.
The orchid list just arrived. I need you.
Oh, I wouldn't want to miss that. When I get back. Yeah. Nero Wolfe's office. Archie go... Yes, sir. Yeah. I'll ask him, sir.
Who is it?
What? It's the president.
What?
The United States. You know, you heard about your gourmet trout. He wants to invite you to Camp David for the weekend. Hold on, sir.
Yes, sir. No, I am not interested in a subscription to the Saturday Evening Post. Archie, come back here! Archie! What are you giggling at? Giggling like a little Swiss schoolboy. Put on some lederhosen.
I perceive strongly, because I am quite clairvoyant when it comes to business, that oil will be very important for at least the next, I'd say about 5 years.
A secret experiment, a deadly virus, a fatal mistake. Zombies galore tonight in the Undead Long Weekend Saturday premiere, Resident Evil. You can see that at 8 and 9. And speaking of secrets, there's something very strange about a certain young lady on Sky One. When 6 hunky guys compete for the affections of one girl, she must be something special. That's the hot new reality show, There's Something About Miriam, tomorrow night at 9 on Sky One.